Here's the Spurs News Roundup, providing the latest top news all in one place. Stay tuned to the very end to get all the Tottenham headlines of the last 24 hours, and then the second part of the video, full analysis of every single story. Don't go anywhere. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. A lot of top news in the last 24 hours. Do bear with me, we'll go through everything. Let's get through it. So, Tottenham Hotspur have announced that Chairman Daniel Levy has left. He's departed. So, via club announcements, they've said Tottenham Hotspur announced that Daniel Levy has today stepped down from his role as executive chairman after nearly 25 years. Tottenham Hotspur has been transformed over the last quarter of a century. It has played in European competitions in the last 18 of 20 seasons, becoming one of the world's most recognised football clubs, consistently invested in its academy, players and facilities, including a new world-class stadium and state-of-the-art training centre. The club has also competed regularly at the highest level, enjoying a number of fantastic on-field successes, including the recent Europa League Cup win. As part of its succession planning, the club has made a number of senior appointments in recent months. Vinay Vernakashi was hired as executive officer, so CEO, with Thomas Frank as our new men's head coach and Martin Ho as new women's head coach. Peter Charrington joined the board and will now step into the newly created role of non-executive chairman. This is all part of the club's ambition to ensure it was set out to deliver long-term sporting success. Daniel Levy said, "I'm incredibly proud of the work I've done together with the executive team and all of our employees. We have built this club into a global heavyweight, competing at the highest level. More than that, we have built a community. I was lucky enough to work with some of the greatest people in this sport, from the team at Lily White House and Hotspur Way to all the players and managers over the years. I wish to thank all the fans that have supported me over the years. It hasn't always been an easy journey, but significant progress has been made. I will continue to support this club passionately." Peter Charrington, non-executive chairman, said, "I'm very honoured to become non-executive chairman of this extraordinary club, and on behalf of the board, I would like to thank Daniel and his family for their commitment and loyalty to the club over so many years. This is a new era of leadership for the club on and off the pitch. I do recognise there's been a lot of change in recent months as we put in place new foundations for the future. We are now fully focused on stability and empowering our talented people across the club, led by Vinay and his executive team. There are no changes to the ownership or shareholder structure of the club." So, Peter Charrington has joined the board and he will now step into his newly created role as non-executive chairman, just to confirm. And as the goal via Football London says that Vinay Vernakashi is hands-on with the day-to-day running of Tottenham as a CEO. Levy and his family still own, or are beneficiaries of, 29.88% of ENIC's share of the club. Next, a report from Sky Sports said that sources close to Joe Lewis's family said that generations of the Lewis family support the special football club and they want what the fans want: more wins more often. This is why you have seen recent changes, new leadership and a fresh approach. In Vinay Vernakashi, Thomas Frank and Peter Charrington, they believe they're backing the right team to deliver on this. It's a new era. Alistair Gold via Football London says the Lewis family currently have no plans to sell Tottenham. That is why they've been pushing through plans to alter the structure at Tottenham to become a more traditional modern one with a CEO. David Lange, the MP for Tottenham, has put a statement out about Daniel Levy. This has nothing to do with politics, by the way. He says Daniel Levy's contribution to Tottenham Hotspur Football Club has been immense. There's been so many unforgettable moments and players over the last 25 years. The League Cup in 2008, Gareth Bale's heroics in our 3-1 win over Inter Milan, and Harry Kane's 280 goals. We have of course been through thick and thin, but throughout tumultuous times on the pitch has delivered a world-class stadium for the fans and the constituency and transformed Tottenham into a global music destination, attracting artists from Beyonce to Kendrick Lamar. He established the Tottenham Hotspur Foundation, which has had a life-changing effect on people across the community. And now he departs with Spurs back in the Champions League with a Europa League trophy and an exciting new manager at the helm. I want to thank him for all that he's achieved to this corner of North London. His service to Tottenham and the constituency won't be forgotten. The BBC say that Daniel Levy will remain a shareholder of ENIC, but will have no direct involvement with Tottenham now. Richarlison has been officially nominated for August Premier League Goal of the month. Mohamed Kudus played 86 minutes in Ghana's 1-1 draw with Chad and got an assist. Brennan Johnson played 65 minutes and Ben Davies played 90 minutes in Wales' 1-0 win over Kazakhstan. Next, the Daily Telegraph, this is Matt Law writing for them, says that Daniel Levy's exit as chairman was set in motion at the beginning of the year, with ENIC prioritising sustained sporting success. The first wind of change came at the beginning of the year when an operational sporting review was carried out by American consultants, the Gibb River Group. Tavistock, the investment firm founded by Lewis, whose family trust hold the controlling ownership of Spurs, were also said to be involved in the review that put Levy's run of the club firmly under the spotlight. Sources claimed that Tottenham required further investment from the Lewis family trust, and that senior figures at the club, including Levy, were interviewed on a number of occasions as part of Gibbs River's wide-reaching review. The BBC go as far as saying the decisions to step down was taken out of Daniel Levy's hands. Pedro Porro played 62 minutes in Spain's 3-0 win versus Bulgaria. Mickey van der Ven played 90 minutes in Netherlands' 1-1 draw with Poland. Xavi Simons played 79 minutes in Netherlands' 1-1 draw with Poland. Alex Nixon, journalist, says that the Lewis family are actually considering selling Tottenham Hotspur. Next, Tottenham Hotspur summer signing Xavi Simons said that he knew upon talking with Netherlands teammate Mickey van der Ven that Spurs are the place where he needed to be. New signing Xavi Simons said at PSV, after a conversation with manager Ruven Nistelrooy, I knew that this is where I need to be. I also had that feeling at Leipzig and also at Spurs, where I also met Mickey van der Ven. I knew I want to be there too. That is where the best players are. I want to be the best too. I know what I want to achieve and I'm going to do it. Guillermo Vicario is among the nominees for the first Premier League Coca-Cola Save of the Month award this season. The Italian international shot stopper has been shortlisted for August Prize, one of a number of key interventions he made in last week's 1-0 home defeat to Bournemouth, so despite the defeat. The saving question came at the start of the second half as he expertly tipped away Antoine Semenya's angle left-footed effort to prevent the visitors from doubling their advantage. Also in the running are Matt Hermansen for West Ham versus Sunderland, Jose Sarr for Wolves against Bournemouth, Bernd Leno for Fulham against Manchester United, Matt Sells for Nottingham Forest versus Fulham, and James Trafford for Manchester City versus Brighton. So there you go, they're all in the running for the Premier League Coca-Cola Save of the Month, the first award of this season. Next, Johan Lange on the transfer window said, overall I think we're looking back at a window where we are, as always, have the ambition to be stronger after the window than before the window. I think without a doubt we can say that we're have a strong squad now. We have signed players who will come in and have an immediate impact on the squad. We have signed some great talents for the future, and very importantly, have also made a couple of very good contract extensions of key players. So overall, we're sitting here in a very good move. Johan Lange on Tottenham's summer window went into further detail, saying, all in all, when we looked at our squad in the window, it is very important that we signed a number of players who can come in with big experience from either the Premier League or the top 5 leagues, also with European experience. The intention with those signings, they come in and they have already seen a couple of players, and now of course with Xavi and Colin Warney arriving as well, with qualities from the first day and also big experience that hopefully will benefit and be positive for the team performance. Johan Lange on Tottenham's challenges in the summer transfer window is very honest about this. He said, when you go through a transfer period for a few months for lots of clubs and also for ours, there were bumps along the way. There's no doubt about that. It's not so much if there are bumps along the way, because inevitably that will happen. It's how you react to those challenges you are facing. In some aspects here, players that we might like to sign early in the window were not available. They're available later in the window. When we look back and the window's closed, I think the outcome has been fantastic for us. Johan Lange on the timing of signings. He said, I think in theory every club in the world would like to do all their business very early. We knew this summer that would be a little bit special for us, because when Thomas and his staff arrived, and you can say around June, that it's not like we have planned this window together in February or March, as you normally do. It was also very important for us that Thomas had a chance to come in and get to know the players, train with them, so we knew this summer would be about doing some of the business a little bit later because of Thomas' arrival, and that's quite natural. Johan Lange spoke about his communication with Spurs boss Thomas Frank. He said, when we had the process of appointing Thomas, obviously one of the key things that we're discussing with our squad were that we were on the same page. We said a number of times that we have high quality squad over here, and Thomas completely agrees with us. Then we of course go, okay, if we have the opportunity to sign players in different positions, which position, which kind of profile of players. Of course, in this window, very unfortunately, James Maddison suffered a significant injury. Of course, we'll see Maddison again, hopefully as soon as possible, and he'll have an important years ahead of him here at Tottenham. but that is also something that influences your decision making. So many good conversations, many long nights, many early morning runs around the training centre, lots of time to discuss. Not only me and Thomas, the scouting group, and everyone around this process is very intense, but it's also, if you don't like that, you shouldn't be here. Johan Lange on Matchday tells he's a very versatile and offensive player. At a young age, he's experienced so much already, played a lot of games in the top 5 leagues and played Champions League. We're very excited that Matthias is here for the long term. We'll see a player with the potential to go even further in the future. Johan Lange even spoke about Kota Sakai, saying Kota is a player that we have watched over a long time. He was very successful in the J-League in Japan, played now for the Japanese national team, and he's really pushing to come into the World Cup next summer. So hopefully we'll see a lot more of him. Again, he's a player at a very young age showing good and promising signs. Of course, there's much more to come. Johan Lange and Mohamed Kudus. Lange said we had that feeling with Mo that he had the potential to do it, because we've known for many, many years, from when he came from Right to Dream Academy in Ghana to the Danish League several years ago, Ajax, and especially his first season at West Ham. So we knew this player has all the attributes to be a fantastic offensive player in the Premier League. He has all that combination of athleticism, pure physicality, but also has the tricks we've seen already. The ability to go past people 1v1 and really create the unbalance in the final third for us. He's just a player that we've already seen having a great impact in the team, so let's just cross our fingers that this will continue. Johan Lange was also asked about João Palhinha. By the way, Johan Lange is a technical director at Tottenham. They sat down and done an interview with the club, I should have explained, and he said that was some of the discussion we had with Thomas when he arrived, to look through the squad. Then we thought, if you look at the profile of players, to have a pure number 6, when the opportunity arose, we were made aware that he was available from Bayern. We knew how successful his spell at Fulham was, and for us it was a no-brainer, to be honest, to try and see if we could sign him. I think that both the block and the goal in Manchester, it was great performance. It's very good for him and the team to come in, have such an impact, to get a performance just like that. Johan Lange and Xavi Simons. Lange said, if you have a bump along the way, sometimes things will turn out for the better. When we have a conversation with Xavi, his determination and desire to join our football club, it was again for a young age. He's played with some of the very best players in the world. When you really, really dig down into his story, the impact he had at Eindhoven, the impact he had at Leipzig in the Bundesliga, and he's still so young. So he performed at this level, at this age, to bring him to our club, our football club, to bring him to the Premier League, and to bring him into a club which has a rich history of producing and seeing players with creativity, with flair. I'm confident that he'll be a great addition to the team, hopefully create a lot of fantastic moments with the fans and for us, all of us. The important thing is when you sit here and you talk about the project and you see his eyes, his desire to be the best version of himself. When you speak about references for his teammates and coaches from different clubs, they just echo this. This is a very serious athlete who first and foremost wants to come in, train well and try to maximise his potential. That's the most important thing. Getting to know him has been a pleasure, and we're looking forward to seeing this determination on a daily basis, on a day-to-day basis as well. That is what really matters. Johan Lange on Tottenham signing Randall Colomwani on loan. Lange said, I think with Randall, first of all, I'm so pleased that we managed to get it over the line. Credit to everybody at the club to act quickly when the opportunity of a player of that level arises. Randall is a versatile attacking player, so he can play across the front line. It gives Thomas and his staff so many options across the forward line, with most of our players playing in more than one position. And again, with Randall coming in, a player we have followed for a long, long time, he's very successful. Eintracht Frankfurt, a team a couple of years ago who he was at. He also said that his move to Paris in the last 6 months, also played very successfully with Juventus, played in the World Cup and also in the Champions League, played for a big club, so very pleased and excited that he's here and be another great addition to the squad for this season. Johan Lange on players going out on loan and the club finding the right moves for them. Lange said, first of all, Andy Scolding is doing a great job heading up the loans department. The loan system is a natural pathway to come into our team, and what is pleasing for me and specific about this window here is that if you look at the number of players going out on loan at a higher level, so we have Luka Vuskovic hopefully playing regularly in the Bundesliga, another top 5 league. We have Mikey Moore starting the Old Firm up in Scotland at the weekend. We have several players playing in the Championship, which you can say compares to other European leagues, still a very important league. So coming through now is increasingly becoming better for us, for the ambition to bring them into our first team. It's a combination of several things. First of all, it's the football analysis from here. How do you predict the game time with the players in the upcoming season And then we look at multiple things. We look at the style of play. We look at the strength of the league. We look at the coach and has a career of giving young players a chance to play or not. We identify the squad and the process they're going to. There's a lot of different factors on sending a player out on loan. And then we have an in-depth conversation with the club as well. So for instance, when we send Luca to Hamburg, it's because we can really feel their desire to have Luca and a clear plan for his development. Johan Lange on Christian Romero being named Spurs club captain and signing a new contract. He said, I think in a team you need multiple leaders, and when you saw us playing last year and you saw the Europa League campaign, everyone can see Kuti's a leader by example on the pitch. Such a strong personality. He's played the biggest games in the world and he's really a strong leader as well, and a natural captain after Sonny in my opinion. A team needs more than one leader. We need a lot of people to take responsibility, which they are. For me, it's very well deserved, Kuti getting the captain's armband, and we're looking forward to him growing even more in the role this season and in the years to come. Sometimes I think you need to take a step back, and sometimes contract extensions should be celebrated just as much, because when you're extending a player's contract, that means that the transfer has been successful or that the youth development has been successful. And both with Kuti and with Jed, two very different pathways to extend the contract over the summer. But again, we extend the contract and that means that the players are happy to be here. The club is very happy. Things worked out. It's very important to take those moments as well to celebrate, and we want to make them very important. Johan Lange and Heung-min Son leaving Spurs in the summer. Lange said, I think first and foremost I was very happy for Sonny because he's been a club legend, and I think he's got a very well-deserved hero's farewell. To see him playing his final game in his home country for us and the way that everybody celebrated him was fantastic. You're without emotions if you didn't get a little emotional for yourself, and I'm sure that a lot of fans did as well, but it's so well-deserved. Johan Lange on how the Spurs find a replacement of those of the qualities that Heung-min Son brought, and do other players have to step up? He said, yeah, but it's not one-to-one, because culture is about people. You know, it's people who set the culture, and everybody has that responsibility. Everyone in the club contributes to the club being successful. Players on the pitch, all of us working off the pitch as well. Johan Lange on Jed Spence getting an England call-up. He says it's a fantastic moment for everyone, but especially for Jed. Development doesn't always go in a straight line, but wow, what an amazing period it has been for Jed. Coming back and the performances he's produced, both right full-back and left full-back. Defensively, you can say coming up against some of the biggest players in the world in that position, he handled that fantastically. Johan Lange on the transfer window and the Tottenham Hotspur staff at different departments. Lange said, I have great people around me. We have a great team at the club. Every department is group effort. The transfer window is a group effort. So we have the scouting department, as referenced earlier, with loans, insights, and the whole administration department here. The football club is exceptional. The operations, the media, we all work together. The player care department as well, they play a huge role in this. So it's 5 or 6 departments who really have to work together to create a good process in the window. And lastly, it's a lot of news I know, and it's not even all of it. I'm going to save some of it tomorrow. Johan Lange is spoke about, or should I say, Tottenham Hotspur squad set up the moment to go out and compete. He's asked about, is it ready to set up and go and compete? It's worded slightly incorrectly, but Johan Lange says, I think that we can say with the additions we have the right balance with the qualities to compete on all 4 fronts here. Together with the depth of the squad sitting here, we're optimistic. We have seen already in the first 4 matches the potential of the team to go head-to-head with some of the best teams in European football. And those performances will be needed across all 4 remaining competitions this season. They're just some of your Tottenham headlines in the last 24 hours. When I say it's been a busy time at the club, by the way, that's just half that I planned to get through, so some will be coming back tomorrow. Big one that we shadowed is Daniel Levy leaving Tottenham, with several kind of sources almost suggesting and saying, in black and white, such as BBC, that he was forced out of his post. Well, I think you've got to look at this in 2 ways. I think overall it's a really positive thing that Daniel Levy is leaving. I think you can only take a club so far, and I think eventually you have to move on when you've reached that kind of limit. But I want to say thank you to Daniel also, because I can be respectful as much as I wanted this to happen. Thank you for everything you've done for the club, particularly off the pitch. Definitely the right time to move on, as I said. I do feel that. But of course I'm glad that Levy has stepped down. However, for me, it's not the biggest problem at the club, just a problem. I think ENIC is the biggest problem in my humble opinion, and my honest opinion as well. I think that ENIC stay even despite Levy leaving. I think ENIC put profit before glory. I think they punish loyalty, and they've got an outdated wage structure which hinders our success as a football club. That's what I believe. It's a big shot, but again, thank you to Daniel. Hopefully this is the end to poor managerial decisions from sackings to appointments, though. I'd argue we should all unite to remove Daniel Levy, but I just don't think that's going to happen. So this comes as a big shock, and I think he would have been forced out. I do believe that. I think it would have been shoved out the door. Reminder, he still does own a stake of the Enix, so he's still involved. He's not gone, but he's gone as chairman. So this is quite a big thing. He won't be interfering. Peter Charrington, a bit surprised that he's been named as the non-executive chairman. Will much change? Will be in the same position in 18 months? Has to be the question. I'm quite happy that Vinay Vernakashtu is hands on hand, day-to-day running of Tottenham, which Alistair Gold says via Football London. I think that's good. But there looks like a lot of change at Tottenham, an awful lot of change at Tottenham. But BBC saying Daniel Levy will remain a shareholder at Tottenham with no direct involvement with Tottenham now. I mean, I just want to reflect quickly on Levy's time. I'm wary of time. I don't want to keep you too long. But Levy's time at Tottenham as a businessman has been fantastic. I think biggest achievements are new stadium, new state-of-the-art kind of facilities, including the training ground. Business point of view, rating out of 10... 8, 9 out of 10 on the business side, but it's a football side that let us down. Only 2 trophies he's delivered as chairman in his 25 years at the club. Mistake after mistake, promise after promise broken. That's the problem here. He hasn't delivered on the football side. Business side, tick the box, and we've become a sustainable club. And I'd argue single-handedly, in my view, Daniel Levy has made us a sustainable kind of giant of a club. I think he's done an awful lot. I think Daniel Levy, in my opinion, I think he's turned us into a club that is big, profitable and sustainable, and he deserves credit for that. I think on the football side, not good enough. 2 trophies in 25 years isn't a lot. It's not good enough. There's no secret about that. We all do know that. But I would like to still thank Daniel for his time. Richarlison nominated for August Premier League Goal of the Month. Not sure which goal that's for. Is it for the over kick? I would have thought against Manchester City if I had to guess. Mohamed Kudus getting an assist. Very nice assist as well. I set that up for a tap in. Ghana getting a 1-1 draw. Well, we've got Brennan Johnson 65 minutes. Ben Davies 90 minutes. Wells getting a goal and a clean sheet. No goal involvement or anything for them. But Ben Davies keeping a clean sheet. What else we got? Yeah, BBC saying the decision was to step down was taken out of Daniel Levy's hands. That's very interesting to hear. Van der Ven all featuring for the country. Xavi Simons too. Got Xavi Simons speaking about how Van der Ven's a big part. We should sign Van der Ven up as an agent. Vicario nominated for Premier League's Cola Save of the Month. Trying to remember which one was from Semenyo. Made a couple of nice saves from Semenyo. He's causing us a lot of problems. And lastly, I'm not going to go into every single quote about Johan Lange. What I will just overview say is I think he come across really well. I think it was about 20 minutes on average, or usually about 10 minutes, whether it's Paratici or Lange last year. He a lot more open, a lot more comfortable, confident, and it was really good. And it's really interesting. I'm glad he opened up about the loan process at the club. Who would have thought it was so difficult? And you would have heard me with that quote there. He speaks about you've got to speak to the club, you've got to speak to the manager, you've got to work out if it's the right club, whether they play loan players or not, whether it's right for the players, whether they're going to get the game time. 7, 8, 9, 10 processes go behind sending the player out on loan. So when we get annoyed with clubs that think like that, why don't you send them out on loan? Why aren't you ripping out their contract? There's just so much to consider. Game time is just one of them. But I thought we come across really well. We didn't learn anything necessary apart from that new, but I still think it would come across well. Of course, the questions would be tailored because it's from the club, but the club's starting to be more open, which is very good. So a lot of change at the football club we've gone through this summer, and we've got more with Daniel Levy stepping down and a new non-executive chairman, and there's a lot going on. How much can the club go through a change in the summer? But I don't know what necessarily means for the future of Tottenham Hotspur. I think we still have a lot to look forward to. I don't think Levy is the biggest problem, and I think ENIC have got a lot of problems, but they sound positive. We've got a lot of change at the football club for the good. New CEO, that's positive. New manager, both the men's and the women's team. And Daniel Levy stepping down can only be seen as a good thing, while also being grateful for the good things he's done. It's like looking at someone that overall needs to step away for a business or for a football club, needs to step away, but you can also thank them for their service, highlight the good things they've done, but go on, look, you overstepped your welcome. And there's two sides of it with Levy. If you rate him on the business side, 9, 10 out of 10 for me. But on the footballing side, it's very poor. It's a 4 or 5 out of 10. Just not that understanding there for me with football in terms of patience. Just isn't there with managerial appointments, with managerial sackings and getting involved in any football side. But that's the longest, I think, Spurs News Roundup I've ever delivered. And I didn't even get through everything. So thank you very much for watching. Get involved in the comments below. Like, subscribe. Get involved, like I said, with any single story. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. But a massive come on, you Spurs.